Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. Pretty horrible rack. But the first thing to say is that we are now playing with the new updated 2019 word list. So we now have 3 new 2-letter words, EW, OK and ZE, and a few hundred other words available. So let's see if any of those come up in this game. Turning to the task in hand, U, V, Y and F all pretty grim on the rack. Through an R I would have vapoury, which would get rid of all of the junk. So what if opponent changes? Tricky. Wow, there is an R, but a great start for my opponent with a bingo. Vapoury for 40. Not bad. I think afflate is good. That plays in column 7 at the bottom, and it also plays in row B. And the row B player is going to be scoring considerably more because the F is getting tripled. Through an R I may have tafarel, but no R available. Rumbles takes a number of hooks in front. BD, C and G, I believe. That was quite fortunate, the positioning of the R. I would have been more than happy to have gotten face value for vapoury, but as it turns out, I got 40 points. Can't see anything with this rack using the E of rumbles. I've got leaf as a component word part with fat. So possibly flat leaf. No, that's not good. And it's possible afflate isn't good, but I am going to try it. Another position for afflate would be to pluralize it in row I. That would score slightly more than the column 7 placement. Great, this spot remains available for 97, and it's not good. Ouch. Okay. Well, I hadn't really looked for an alternative play. I was fairly confident that was good. It's not. So, how to get rid of, well, I guess both F's and an A, and I can do that with A double F. But if I play that in row B, I'm creating a pretty easy scoring spot in row A. So I have Baff in row F. Can I do better? And is there a bingo that I've overlooked? I think it may have been afflatus that I was confusing the play with. And there's a double lane to consider with M in the middle. So I have the flam beginning. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything. Baff for 20. And I could extend it to baffle, but I think this rack leave is good. And that is a fantastic looking rack. I trail by nearly 50 points, but I am definitely bingoing next turn. Just looking around for the hottest bingo lanes. I guess column 11 is a double with F in 2nd or 3rd place. So I have inflator in column 11, which is definitely good. How about a play? Well, no need to consider a triple word score play because I've got a quadruple word play in inflator and there are no other double lanes. Now this is going to place all of my vowels next to premium squares, so is there an alternative bingo? So this rack plus an F. Not seen anything so far. That's inflator, and I'm not aware of any anagram. For Lent, I don't think so. Could be something else. Nothing there. Okay, so I'm playing inflator for 90. Horrendous. That's the second UV combination I've had this go. Onto a Y, I would have Vutty. No Y available. I think onto an E, I would have Cuvette. That's quite attractive in row H. It sorts out everything on my rack. Well, nearly everything. It leaves a U, and it takes out a hot bingo lane. However, it does provide some floaters. The main attraction is sorting the rack out. How about row H? Through the A of inflator. Not seeing anything. Opponent goes there in any event. Now, quite fortunate, I can now play Cuvette and score more. This may not be good. This may not be good. Let's find out. 28 points. It is good. Okay. Now, through an L, I would have Squilgy. No L's available. I lead by 4 points, so really tight game. Cuvette isn't particularly dangerous. Only a C can go to the right of it and nothing to the left. I've got QU together, which is good. So I have Squeg on my rack, which plays in row L, making inflators for over 40 points. That's pretty good. It does burn the S. 2 S's to come. Both blanks have gone. Now, do I have anything in column 12 beginning with the Q? Not sure I do. I don't have many options using just the tiles on my rack. What do I have with this R? Well, no bingo. Close to squireage. Nothing with the D. Nothing with the N. Well, Squeg still available, and I am attracted to it. Not really seeing any alternative plays. Certainly nothing which scores as much as this. 45 points. Terrible rack leave, a lot of E's and I's to come. Am I overlooking a decent Q play? I don't have to play the Q, but if I keep it, I don't think I'm going to be scoring 45 points. Just looking at these triple letter squares. Seeing if I can get my Q tripled. Don't think I can. 16 minutes on my clock. I would have Q through a U. No U's available. Okay, I'm going with this. That could have been a lot worse. I've got Hetty on my rack as a 6-letter play, which would just sort the rack out. I've also got Teeth. So I've escaped fairly well there. I do have an H for going after the C. But I would in any event be limited to a 3-letter play, 2 or 3-letter play, because nothing goes next to the V. Just wondering if there is a bingo here. And there could be. There could be an 8, I don't think there's a 7. Hetty plays in column 7 for not very much. Let me look at the scores. We are dead level. Wow, this is a close one. Shat is good, so my H can go between S and at. So I could play hit. Let me just see what this scores. I don't like it. 28 points, which I do like. What I don't like is keeping triplicate E with 4 E's to come. But that's something worth keeping in one's back pocket. Do I have anything onto this W? I have Thew, but that doesn't get tripled. Triple EW, likewise. I've got 8, but doesn't get tripled. Nowhere great for Hetty. What about Teeth? Well, what I do have is Tithe. Only 22 points. I'm providing access to the triple word square. I'm providing floaters because it takes D, R, and S. Rack leave, nothing to write home about. 14 minutes on my clock. Well, if I'm going to keep 3 of a tile, I think it would be the E. And there is some merit here because by playing hit, I am taking out this S as a floater for bingos ending in S. And I'm providing nothing. So hit for 28. Well, I'm providing an S hook. Wow, I draw no more E's, which is good. Overall, this rack looks quite nice. Not seeing a bingo. My C can go next to the H. So if I played off just 2 E's, I would have a pretty good 5-letter set. Can I do that and score something? Well, I guess I can. I could play next to Pith. 13 points. Not massive. I can't see anything onto the W. I have tree on my rack with CEO. So there could be an 8-letter bingo with that letter pattern. Can't see anything great down from the G. I lead by nearly 30 points. Still 32 tiles to come, so a lot of action ahead. Shat takes nothing before or after it. Tor takes nothing in front of it. If opponent does bingo in row L, he will definitely be creating scoring spots for parallel plays, and by providing floaters, just wondering if I have a play with the C tripled. Don't think I do. Great, opponent changes. Fantastic. So this is what I was thinking about. Double E here for 13 points. I don't have a great feeling about it, but it doesn't feel a disastrous play simply because the rack leave is so good. But this is a rack leave I am prepared to break up more if I can get a bigger score. But I'm just not seeing where to do that, so I'm going with this. Pretty good. I have Enactor, which I've just blocked by playing E because it would otherwise have played next to the H. And I don't think that has an anagram. However, I have carotene onto this E for 83. Bang. Pretty awful rack. But I now have a bingo lead. And, well, still 21 tiles to come, including 2 S's. I'm a long way from a bingo, but I do have quite a few scoring tiles, and I have a vowel. Let me check the remaining vowels. 18 out of 28. Wow, very vowel heavy, and I wonder if my opponent was changing because he was swamped with vowels. Quite possible. So just 10 consonants, G, K, L, L, N, R, R, S and Y. Opponent could still be facing a vowel heavy rack. I'm looking at playing parallel to carotene to take out some of the floaters. So I could play bow. Wow, fantastic bingo by my opponent. 107 points. He shoots into a 35-point lead. Absolutely fantastic stuff. 14 tiles in the bag. What to do? My strategy completely changes now because I probably could benefit from a bingo, in which case I need to get rid of all of the non-bingo-y tiles as quickly as possible. I'm only 35 points behind, which is a difficult spot to be in because I may be able to catch my opponent without bingoing. So do I try and balance this rack or just go for score? I don't have anything to go in front of OU. I don't have anything ending W. 11 minutes on my clock. I can't see anything which places a big tile on this triple letter square above the E. Can't see anything which gets my W tripled apart from just WO, and I don't want to leave 5 consonants. And I do need to do something about B, G, P and W. All pretty non-bingo-y. Only 14 tiles left. So, I don't like this. But I do have rung for 18. And I don't like it because of the rack leave. Pretty non-bingo-y. Can I do any better? Only 18 points, that's wretched. I'm not seeing anything else through there. I do need to get rid of the W. It's hopelessly non-bingo-y. Just not seeing anything. Don't see anything through the G. Okay, I am going to go with rung. I'm likely to draw vowels, which will help B and P. 18 points is a lot better than 4 points or 5 points. So rung for 18. I do draw vowels. And maybe this is my best chance of catching my opponent. If he's got just 1 pointers. There are only 1 point tiles left apart from the G. Still 2 S's to come. Rung doesn't take an S, thank goodness. So can I extract value from B, P and Y? Well, Y goes in front of OU. So I could play Yob or Yoop. Over 30 points. Well, not over yet. It's possible opponent could bingo with all these 1-point tiles. But it's also possible he's got 5 eyes on his rack. I don't think there's time for my rack to mature into a bingo, and it would be pretty fortuitous if it did, given the number of vowels that are left. A very unbalanced pool. Now B and P can go on next to this O. So I could play boy, for over 30 points, or bay. Not seeing anything better than that, and I would then be burning the Y in terms of going in front of OU. Eight minutes on opponent's clock. I trail by 17. A real game-changing bingo in Clonkia. 107 points is a huge score. Some bingos only score 60 or 70. And that's a clear 30 or 40 points in excess of that. It's more like a bingo and a half. I guess it's getting the K doubled and then the whole word tripled, which did the job for my opponent. Now, do I have any more scoring opportunities? Okay, opponent, wow, burns 3 consonants. Look at this, the only consonants left are S's. Remaining tiles almost entirely vowels. Opponent leads by 40. He could have real difficulty scoring, so I'm just wondering whether I should be playing off my big tiles one at a time. What else can I do? Let me just check you. So that's good. That will be 33 points, keeping double A, B, and I'd be drawing probably just vowels. Or I could play boa, keeping the Y, for 29. That's attractive, because I'm basically keeping the opportunity of scoring 30 points in row A. I'm not giving a huge amount away, although I guess there could be parallel options. So, 7 minutes on my clock. Can I do better than boa? And the risk is that opponent can score off this B and the K with a short parallel play. That's not going to be easy. I quite like the idea of retaining 2 big scoring tiles. And I think the question is, can I do something similar to boa, but scoring more? Well, I could do poa in the same spot, so which of the B and P is the better tile to retain? Possibly the B, in the sense that I would have yob. However, I've got yap, so that's not the case. Where else can my big scoring tiles play? Not seeing anywhere. Just wondering about the choice of vowels here, because I've got boo, boa, bow, the new 3-letter word, B-A-O. I don't want to overthink this. I think I'm going with this. I draw both S's. Opponent has got 7 vowels on his rack, and he's going to draw only vowels. And I've got a pretty balanced rack, and I've got 2 good scoring tiles. So, is there still hope? I think there probably should be. I think opponent's going to struggle to go out in 2. That is a really unbalanced rack. I have Scissop in column 3. SYSOP. For nearly 40 points. I'd be keeping AI, but if opponent empties the bag, and he probably will, I could certainly go out with AI in a number of spots. This rack is actually so good, I'm just wondering if I have a bingo with it. So the R is the best floater, probably, but I'm not seeing anything there. Can't see any extensions to KA. Nothing with the G. Wow, what an extraordinary pickup, those 2 S's. I was just waiting to receive vowels. And I think opponent's in a grim spot. Okay, pretty good move. He plays off just 1 tile. So is Scissop the play? 38 points. I'd be on 432, I'd lead by 13. I'm going to draw a vowel to go with these 2. So I'm not guaranteed to go out. This provides nothing for my opponent. So I could draw 2 I's, which would be dreadful. 5 minutes on my clock. Something better than Scissop. Scissop burns all 4 consonants. Maybe it would be sensible to retain 1 or 2. Yap for 30. And then I would still have options in column 3. I don't think column 3 is particularly useful for my opponent. 30 points would take me to 424, a lead of only 5. I could stick an S on the end of this for 3 more points, but I know there are no consonants to come. So it would actually be nice to play off another vowel. 4 minutes on my clock. S can go in front of OU, so I could play Sawyer for 24. Significantly lower score. And the reason for doing that would be to increase the chances of going out in 1, but I probably don't need to do that. I think that's too much of a score sacrifice. What about something else in column 3 which doesn't burn everything? 4 minutes on my clock, now down to 3. Let me see what Prosy scores. 25. What about Sawyer? 32, keeping PIS. I think I like this best. My S can go on the end of Sawyer. It can go on the end of K. Opponent doesn't have an O for going on the end of K. I think this is my preferred play. I'm going with this Sawyer for 32. Okay, I draw just the one vowel. This is a pretty good rack. I have Sipe in row A, Sipe and Sue, and I have Sipe in column 4. And I lead by 7. I think this game is probably mine. And desperately unlucky for my opponent. That was an extraordinary bag at the end there. So I think column 4 is going to be best for Sipe. $38 points. And 21 points in row A. I don't have anything onto the W. Rung doesn't take an S. Obs takes nothing after it. Okay, just 14 for opponent. So I have Sipe for 38. And the final score, 433 to my opponent, 474 to me, a winning margin of 41 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first, and he bingoed with a rumble, so a great start for him. I have Vapory for 40. And now, opponent's rack. He plays Zax. I do not have a Fleet. Affable playable for 25. And I play... Well, I considered Aff didn't like opening row A. So I played Baff for 20. And I like that. AELT, definitely 5 points better than just the T. So Baff for 20. Opponent plays Pith. And now I have a great rack and Inflator scores most. Opponent plays Damned and leads by 24. I have Cuvette for 28, which sorts the rack out. Opponent plays Dado, and now I trail by 17. I have Squeg for 45, nothing obviously better. Just looking down these candidate plays for anything that's new in the dictionary. Not seeing anything. He plays Wind, and this was a racker I struggled with. Epithet, B5. Oh wow, look at that, Epithet and ZE. That would have been one of the new words. And a pretty decent score on rack leave, so I missed that. And I play Hit for 28. 5 more points, but triple ET is definitely 5 points, or a lot more than 5 points worse than EHIT. Probably 10 to 15 points worse, I would think. Opponent changes, so he changed with this rack, so he wasn't massively swamped with vowels. Okay. But look at these rack leaves. I guess he looked at candidate plays. They were just limping into the 20s and nothing fantastic in the rack leaves, and he was trailing. So he changed. I still have Epithet, and I played double E for 13. Opponent's rack plays Joe, and now I have Carotene, and that is the only bingo. But now this was the moment where the game absolutely tilted on its axis. I was a bingo ahead. I was in reasonable shape. I was contemplating taking out floaters when opponent bangs down Clonkia. He also had, at H4, Oerlikon down from the O. And now I am 30 points behind, and I've got a really unbalanced rack. And I didn't play any of these. All of these rack leaves, very consonant heavy. I play rung, which is only 8 points fewer than prion, and I like my play. Opponent plays logger, so he played logger from this rack. Wow, keeping just vowels with all these vowels to come. So partly the author of his own misfortune, perhaps. Plays logger. And now I can see the remaining unseen tiles. I wanted to hang on to my high-scoring ones, and I played boa for 29, and I still like that. Opponent plays chi. And I thought about scissor, and I went with soya in the end. Let's have a look what Examiner 1 thinks. This is the soya play for 32 points, and I like that, knowing that there is just one vowel, one tile in the bag, and it's a vowel. If I'd played scissor, AIA would have played, but not otherwise. So soyas is best, and that wins 100% of the time. I didn't do that, I played just soya. Okay. Opponent's rack, he plays double A. And finally sipe for 38 is best. So absolutely incredible game. I thought I was in a winning position or a clear favourite, and then opponent played Klongia and he took over that mantle, and but for the bizarre nature of the bag in the final stages of the game, that would have probably determined the result. But as it happened, I was able to draw all of the consonants and come back and catch my opponent and win the game in a thrilling finale. So absolutely fantastic stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.